You are not being hurt by what happened. You are being hurt by the fact that you keep living there. The person who betrayed you is not in the room with you right now. The moment that broke you is not happening this second, but somewhere inside you it is still going, still replaying, still asking questions that have no answers, still waiting for a justice that never arrives. This is not a wound. This is a choice you are making without knowing you are making it. And Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, understood this trap completely. Not from a comfortable distance, but from the inside, from a life filled with war, betrayal, illness, and loss. And what he found, written quietly in his private journal, will change how you see everything that still hurts you. We are going to walk through 5 truths today. And point 4, that is the one almost no one sees. It is the reason letting go feels impossible. Stay until we get there. You have been carrying something for a long time now. Maybe it was a person who left without a real explanation. Maybe it was a moment where you trusted completely and were made to regret it. Maybe it was a version of your life that collapsed before you had the chance to live it. And you have tried to move on. You have told yourself it is over. You have had good days, but then something small happens. A song, a photograph, a silence in a crowd, and suddenly you are back there. Back in that moment, back in that pain. And you wonder why. You wonder what is wrong with you, why the past still has this power, why time is not doing what everyone said it would. You are not broken, my friends. You are not weak for feeling this. You are simply someone who has not yet been given the real answer, the one that does not come from inspirational quotes or advice to just let it go. And if this has ever happened to you, you have just discovered a truth that Marcus Aurelius understood more than 2,000 years ago. And it is uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. He commanded armies. He governed an empire of millions. He held more power than almost any human being in history. And yet, his most important writing was never meant to be read by anyone. His meditations were private notes, reminders he wrote to himself during wars, during grief, during the slow collapse of things he could not stop. He was not performing wisdom. He was desperately trying to practice it. What Marcus Aurelius discovered was a principle so simple it sounds almost offensive. He called it the divide between what's up to us and what's not. Our judgments, our choices, our responses, these are ours. Everything else, other people, the past, the future, fortune itself, these are not. Modern psychology calls this the locus of control, and research consistently shows that people who locate their sense of power inside themselves rather than in external events experience measurably less suffering. Marcus Aurelius did not need the research, he lived it. Here's what's actually happening when we cannot let something go. The mind does not store memories like photographs. It stores them like unfinished conversations. When something ends badly, when there's no resolution, no justice, no real explanation, the brain keeps the file open. It keeps sending you back there, not to torture you, but because it believes on some level that if you return enough times, you will finally find the answer. Psychologically, what happens is a loop. The wound triggers a search. The search finds nothing. The wound triggers again. Marcus Aurelius named this trap with quiet precision. He wrote that we suffer not from the weight of the future, but how we carry it in the present. The event does not hurt you. Your relationship to the event hurts you. And here is the reframe that changes everything. It's not about what happened. It's about the meaning you have decided that event holds over who you are right now. The person who hurt you is not carrying this. You are. And you will keep carrying it until you understand that the past has no power except the power you are actively, in this moment, giving it. Remember what I said about point 4. We're almost there. 1. The past is a realm you cannot enter. The past is not behind you, waiting to be revisited. It does not exist anywhere except in thought. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man lives only in the present, this fleeting instant, and all else is either gone or not yet revealed. When you replay the past, you are not remembering it. You are constructing it from fragments, from perspective, from pain. And you are constructing it now, in the present, the only place you actually live. The past cannot be changed. It cannot even be accurately known. What can change is your relationship to it. That is the only power available to you here. 2. Your suffering is not about them anymore. When you were hurt, it was about them, what they did, what they said, what they chose. But the suffering that continues now, that is yours alone. Marcus Aurelius described how we become puppets when we give the strings of our inner state to external things. The betrayal gave them the string, but every day you replay it, you are handing it back. They are not pulling, you are offering. Not because you are weak, because no one ever told you that the moment something ends, your relationship to it is now entirely your responsibility. That is not a punishment. That is a freedom. 3. Worry is suffering a future that may not exist. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that should be carved into every anxious mind, that the future does not press upon you. You press upon yourself with thoughts of it. The disaster you are dreading has not happened. The loss you fear has not arrived. The worst case you are preparing for may never come. You are suffering it anyway, in the present, right now, for free. Marcus Aurelius told himself, you will meet the future with the same weapons of reason that arm you today. The strength you have now will be there then. This moment, not a projected one, is what you have to work with. Worry is not preparation. Worry is imagining collapse and calling it wisdom. 5. The present moment is where your power lives. Marcus Aurelius returned to this again and again in his private writings, not as a philosophy lesson, as a reminder to himself, because he too forgot, because the past and future are seductive. They feel important. They feel like where the real weight is. But you cannot act in the past. You cannot live in the future. The present is the only field. The present is where your choices are. The present is where your power exists, or is surrendered. He wrote, the present is a chance for the exercise of virtue, the art that humans share with the divine. Not comfort, not certainty, a chance. Right now, this moment, this breath. That is enough.
It has always been enough. There was a man who spent 3 years after a friendship ended trying to understand what he had done wrong. He replayed every conversation. He analyzed every moment. He rewrote the story dozens of times, trying to find the version where it made sense, where there was a reason, where he could have done something differently. He found nothing, because there was nothing to find. The friendship ended for reasons that had nothing to do with his worth and everything to do with the other person's limitations. But he did not know that yet. What he knew was the silence and the question that lived inside it. And then, one evening, he read something Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in the middle of the night 2,000 years before. A quiet line, almost nothing. It's unfortunate that this has happened. No, it's fortunate that this has happened and I've remained unharmed by it. And something became clear. He had been asking, why did this happen to me? The better question was, who am I in how I face it? That was the shift. Not healing the wound, changing the question.
So, what do you actually do with all of this? Here is what I call the 3 fields of release, drawn directly from Marcus Aurelius' private philosophy. 1. Separate the event from your meaning of it. What happened, happened. That is fixed. But the meaning you assign to it, what it says about you, about your worth, about what you deserve, that is a story. And stories can be rewritten, not with denial, with clarity. Not, it didn't hurt, but it happened, and I am still here. And here is what that actually means. Ask yourself today, what story am I telling about this? Is that story true, or is it just familiar? 2. Locate where your power actually is. Not in what they did, not in what they owe you, not in the resolution that never came. Your power is in this moment, in your choices right now, in how you carry yourself forward. Not explanation, distance. Not confrontation, indifference. Not revenge, silence. These are not weakness. They are the most powerful moves available to you. 3. Practice what Marcus Aurelius called proseki, attention to the present moment, not as a spiritual exercise, but as a discipline of power. Every time your mind pulls you back, notice it, name it. I am in the past right now, then return. Not because the past is unimportant, because you cannot live there, and you deserve to live somewhere. Stop justifying, start protecting. Your silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. Do not shrink your present to keep the past company. But there is one more thing, the lesson beneath all the other lessons. Marcus Aurelius did not write the meditations to become wise. He wrote them because he kept forgetting. He was an emperor with every resource in the known world, and he still had to remind himself daily, in private, in the dark, to return to what mattered, to return to his own power, to return to the present. This is the highest teaching. Not that you will one day arrive at a place where nothing hurts you, but that you will become someone who can hold pain and still choose, still act, still move forward. The Stoics did not promise a life without suffering. They promised something harder and more valuable, a self that suffering cannot destroy. That is what Marcus Aurelius was building in those private pages. Not philosophy, himself. And that is what you are doing right now. You are not broken for still feeling this. You are not weak for struggling to release it. You are not behind. You are simply someone who was never given the real tools until now. You have been carrying a past that cannot be changed, dreading a future that may never arrive, missing a present that is the only place anything can actually be done. You are not a victim of what happened. You are the author of what happens next. And that has always been true, even when it didn't feel like it, even in the darkest replays, even in the silence. As Marcus Aurelius might have said, your mission is not to resolve every wound before you move. Your mission is to move, fully, honestly, with the wisdom of someone who has walked through fire and chosen still to be undestroyed. And that will always disturb those who chose to stay burning. Remember this, my friends. You are not still suffering because you are weak. You are still suffering because no one told you that the event ended, but your relationship to it did not have to. The 3 fields of release are not a self-help system. They are a way of seeing, the way Marcus Aurelius saw, alone in the dark with an empire on his shoulders. The past is a country you cannot return to. The future is a place you do not yet live. The present is where you are. Come back to it, because one day you will look back on this moment and you will understand that the suffering did not define you. Your response to it did. And that is when everything changes. Before you go, I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments below. What is the one thing you are still carrying that you know deep down has already ended? You do not have to explain it. You do not have to justify it. Just name it. Because sometimes the first step to releasing something is simply admitting out loud, even to strangers, that you are still holding it. Write it below. You may be surprised how many people are carrying the exact same thing, in silence, alone, just like you. If you want more videos on the psychology of pain, the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, the hidden dynamics of self-mastery, and what the ancient world knew that the modern world has forgotten, subscribe to Ancient Soul Philosophy. Because understanding the human soul means taking back control of your life.